Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Word Wondering as we continue our journey throughout the Holy Bible in Genesis chapter 29. Now, I've already read this chapter, and there's a lot that I have seen in this chapter that I've never seen before. Now, please, if you can, go ahead, sit back, relax, and let us continue.
Genesis chapter 29. Then Jacob went on his journey, and came into the land of the people of the east. And he looked, and behold a well in the field, and lo, there were 3 flocks of sheep lying by it. For out of that well they watered the flocks, and a great stone was upon the well's mouth. And thither were all the flocks gathered, and they rolled the stone from the well's mouth, and watered the sheep, and put the stone again upon the well's mouth in his place. And Jacob said unto them,
My brethren, whence be ye?
And they said,
Of Haran are we?
And he said unto them,
Know ye Laban, the son of Nahor?
And they said,
We know him.
And he said unto them,
Is he well?
And they said,
He is well. And behold, Rachel his daughter cometh with the sheep.
And he said,
Lo, it is yet high day, neither is it time that the cattle should be gathered together. Water ye the sheep, and go and feed them.
And they said,
We cannot until all the flocks be gathered together, until they roll the stone from the well's mouth. Then we water the sheep.
And while he yet spake with them, Rachel came with her father's sheep, for she kept them. And it came to pass, when Jacob saw Rachel the daughter of Laban his mother's brother, and the sheep of Laban his mother's brother, that Jacob went near, and rolled the stone from the well's mouth, and watered the flock of Laban his mother's brother.
So we have Jacob looking upon Rachel, which is his niece, according to today's language. Rachel will be the niece of Jacob, his mother's brother.
And Jacob kissed Rachel, and lifted up his voice, and wept.
Now wait a minute, and you just go ahead and kiss her? I mean, today that would be weird, wouldn't it? For you to just go up and kiss. Now we don't know exactly how he kissed her or anything. Maybe this could have been a kiss of a welcoming, and I still don't understand that in today's term, in modern day today. But we don't know how he kissed Rachel. But it tells us that he lifted up his voice and wept. Now why? Now why is Jacob lifting up his voice and wept?
And Jacob told Rachel that he was her father's brother, and that he was Rebekah's son. And she ran and told her father. And it came to pass, when Laban heard the tidings of Jacob his sister's son, that he ran to meet him, and embraced him, and kissed him, and brought him to his house. And he told Laban all these things.
Now I'm just looking at, the way that Jacob kissed Rachel. It's probably the same way that Laban went to embrace Jacob, and he also kissed them. Again, I'm thinking that this is just like a welcoming kiss. It's nothing to be taken as sensual or sexual, if that's the right word.
And Laban said unto him,
Surely thou art my bone and my flesh.
And he abode with him the space of a month. And Laban said unto Jacob,
Because thou art my brother, shouldst thou therefore serve me for naught? Tell me, what shall thy wages be?
And Laban had 2 daughters. The name of the elder was Leah, and the name of the younger was Rachel. Leah was tender-eyed, but Rachel was beautiful and well-favored. And Jacob loved Rachel, and said,
I will serve thee 7 years for Rachel, thy younger daughter.
Now wait a minute, everybody. We got Jacob making an offering, right? Because he loved Rachel, right? And as we can see in the beginning of time when God made man, the first man Adam, and then he made him a wife because God had decided man should not be alone. That don't mean man be with man. That man be with woman. That's why God created a woman, right? God said man shall not be alone. And God created Eve, a woman, right? But since the beginning of time, even when God created woman Adam, he took something from Adam to make Eve. And I can see this ever since the beginning of time that man had to give something in order to receive a wife, right? That's with Abraham, that's with Isaac, and now we have Jacob that's offering 7 years for Rachel, whom he loved. He loved Rachel and he wanted to do 7 years for her. No, I'll give you 7 years. I want Rachel to be my wife.
And Laban said,
It is better that I give her to thee than I should give her to another man. Abide with me.
And Jacob served 7 years for Rachel, and they seemed unto him but a few days for the love he had to her.
Oh, wow. Wow, everybody. He did 7 years. And because of this love that he had for Rachel, this desire to be with Rachel, these 7 years just flew by as if they was days instead of years, right? That's amazing, right? That's very amazing. How the love could just, this was nothing to Jacob to do 7 years for Rachel. He wanted Rachel this badly that he served her, but these 7 years seems like nothing to him.
And Jacob said unto Laban,
Give me my wife, for my days are fulfilled, that I may go in unto her.
And Laban gathered together all the men of the place and made a feast. And it came to pass in the evening that he took Leah his daughter, and brought her to him, and he went in unto her. And Laban gave unto his daughter Leah Zilpah his maid for an handmaid. And it came to pass that in the morning, behold, it was Leah. And he said to Laban,
What is this thou hast done unto me? Did not I serve with thee for Rachel? Wherefore then hast thou beguiled me?
Now wait a minute, everybody. Wait a minute. We just got this man Laban deceived Jacob, right? He deceived Jacob and sent her into Jacob's room or wherever it was, and he had sex with this woman, right? But what I can't understand is, back in those days, it could have been real dark. These are the things that I'm wondering. It could have been real dark to the point that Leah just went into the room of Jacob and they just started getting the business. They just started having sex, right? Without talking or anything of that nature. Because the thing that I can't understand is how Jacob, right? How he didn't understand that this was not Rachel, right? I mean, that's something that I wonder about. Again, please leave your comments, your thoughts, opinions, and what you interpreted from this chapter in the comments below. But we do have that Laman did deceive Jacob. And this could be, and the way that it seems to me that Jacob is very upset about this deception. He didn't do 7 years for Leah. He did 7 years for Rachel because he loved her. He wanted to be with Rachel. He didn't want to be with Leah.
And Laban said,
It must not be so done in our country to give the younger before the firstborn.
Now wait a minute.
Fulfill.
Now wait a minute. Why you just didn't say that in the beginning, Laban? Why you just didn't say this is not should be done in this country in the beginning, right? Why wait until this time and then deceive me by giving me Leah? You could have been kind and told me truthfully this is the way that it was, that I could have made a decision, right, to do this. But no, you would rather deceive me in order to get this done, right?
Fulfill her week, and we will give thee this also for the service which thou shalt serve with me yet 7 other years.
7 more years.
And Jacob did so, and fulfilled her week. And he gave him Rachel his daughter to wife also. And Laban gave to Rachel his daughter Bilhah his handmaid to be her maid. And he went in also unto Rachel, and he loved also Rachel more than Leah, and served with him yet 7 other years.
Now wait a minute, everybody. It's stated in Genesis chapter 29, verse 30, that Jacob loved Rachel so much that instead of doing another 7 years, he did 14 years instead. But the truth of the matter is, he didn't do just 14 years instead. He did 21 years for Rachel. Right? He didn't just do 14 years, but he did an extra 7 years for Rachel. So he's doing more for Rachel because he loved her more than he loved Leah. Right? Doesn't mean that he didn't love Leah, but he loved her more. He loved Rachel more than he loved Leah.
And when the Lord saw that Leah was hated, he opened her womb, but Rachel was barren. And Leah conceived and bare a son, and she called his name Reuben, for she said,
Surely the Lord hath looked upon my affliction. Now, therefore, my husband will love me.
Now, wait a minute. Wait a minute, everybody. This is amazing to me, right? In Genesis chapter 29, verse 31, and when the Lord saw that Leah was hated, okay? The Lord saw that Leah was hated. So let's just focus on what the Lord saw. The Lord saw that Leah was hated. By who? Jacob, of course. And he opened her womb because of this hatred. And it also tells us in Genesis chapter 29, this hatred is also considered to be affliction. All right? I don't care who you are. If you are hated, there will be some type of way, form, or fashion that it will afflict you. And it could afflict you to the point where you don't care anymore. Right? But in some shape, form, or fashion, hatred could afflict you, right? But the Lord saw her hatred. The Lord seen that she was hated, and he opened her womb. Again, he blessed her.
And she conceived again, and bare a son, and said,
Because the Lord hath heard that I was hated, he hath therefore given me this son also.
And she called his name Simeon.
Now wait a minute. The Lord is blessing us exceedingly for Leah, right? Because of this hatred that her husband have against her, right? And I'm looking at Leah and I'm looking at Jacob. Even though she was hated by Jacob, Jacob was still having sex with this woman. Even though he hated Leah, he still was having sex with Leah, right? Now she has 2 sons. And I believe this could be done today. There's nothing, according to the word of God, there's nothing under the sun that hasn't been done before. I mean, I am a testament of having sex with someone that I did not love, right? And maybe you are also the same, man or woman, right? Maybe you have had sex with somebody that you did not love, right? But the Lord seen this hatred between Jacob hating his wife, and it seemed like Leah, all she wanted to be is loved by her husband. And she had two sons. Now she got Simeon. All right? Let's continue.
And she conceived again and bare a son, and said,
Now this time will my husband be joined unto me, because I have borne him 3 sons.
Therefore
That's funny. That's funny, right? That's funny. I mean, the Lord blessed her exceedingly. She gave Jacob 3 sons now, right? 3, right? But Rachel, Rachel is barren. Now, when I look at that, like, because of the hatred between Jacob that he had towards Leah, right? Could that have been an effect for the reason why Rachel was barren? I can't quite answer that question. But I know that God's ways is not our ways and his thoughts is not our thoughts. Could it have been because of this hatred that Jacob had because of Leah? And I believe this hatred was also because he was deceived for the first 7 years that he has paid for Rachel in the beginning. This could have made him hate her even more, right? Because of this deception. But the Lord seen it. The Lord said, you know what? I see your hatred. I'm going to bless you. I'm going to give you 3 sons. All right? But Rachel is barren. Was Rachel deserving of this being barren? Who am I to say? I am not God. Let us continue.
his name called Levi. And she conceived again and bare a
Again.
son, and she said,
Now will I praise the Lord.
Therefore she called his name Judah, and left bearing.
Wow. The Lord blessed her exceedingly, gave her 4 sons by Jacob. And then she stopped bearing out the 4 sons. How amazing our God is, right? How amazing he is. Let's give him praise and glory. Please join me as we continue our journey throughout the Holy Bible in Genesis chapter 30. Remember, try to treat others in a way that you would like to be treated. Peace.